One more guy. Hey, what's good? This is episode 20 of Figure It Out. Dark humor for brighter future. And I'm here with Steven, as always, my co-host. And
What's
Steven,
up?
what are we going to discuss today?
Thought that was on you, man.
All right. So, all right, let me get one more shot.
This is your topic. You're running this one.
Oh my God. Uh, all right, here we go. Hey, what's good? This Figure It Out. This is episode 20 of Figure It Out, and God, I can't even say the first part. I've got a case of the giggles, man. So you made me. You did that great joke before I started recording, and now I'm all like giggled up. Hey, what's good? This is episode 20 of Figure It Out. Dark humor for a brighter future. And today we will be discussing basically how drugs are really just a fake catalyst. Because there's a lot of things that, basically, really anything in life can act as a catalyst. But that's the thing, they act as catalysts. But really, there's going to be certain things that are real catalysts that, move us forward. And, with those fake catalysts, they give us that sense of moving forward, but then really they only really act as a crutch. Because, the moment we stop using them, such as with drugs, then, because we were reliant on that, then we never really make that paradigm shift for ourselves. And we gotta be the ones to figure it out. The drug can't do it for us. So even if the drug shows us that door, until we walk through it on our own, we never really have that.
So now, would that be a fake catalyst or more like a negative catalyst, perhaps?
I think it would be like a fake catalyst, like an illusion,
Because you think that it's doing something for you when really it's going against you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your take on
Well, I mean, I suppose like with alcohol, I mean, I still drink today, but like when I first started drinking, back in high school, uh, I was kind of a social outcast, at least in my mind. Like I had trouble meeting new people and whatnot. And then I went to a couple parties and I drank, and all of a sudden I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't give a shit.
that?
So I felt like alcohol was the answer to my social issues, I suppose, in a way. So I feel like I can totally relate to this.
So after years of drinking, did you find that it helped you, or did you find that you were kind of reliant on the alcohol for the as a social lubricant?
I could have done it without alcohol. When I first started, because all I've done as an adult is, like customer service type jobs where I have to talk to a lot of people. My first job as an adult was working at McDonald's. And so, like, I was seeing lots of random faces that, I was meeting new people all the time, constantly. So, and I had to, talk to them. So
Right.
just being forced into that situation without any drugs involved, and I was able to do it. And now I'm at a point where I can talk to just about anybody, and alcohol is not necessary to make that happen. Like I feel totally comfortable. Sorry. I
I
feel
feel totally comfortable. Hairball there, hairball.
I don't know what happened there, but I feel totally comfortable talking to random people nowadays. Like I enjoy meeting new people. It's fun. Like that I get a kick out of it. I like meeting new people.
Me
Um,
too.
But yeah, before it was so difficult for me to just have a random conversation with somebody. But I don't know if at some point alcohol made it easier, or if it just worked out that way in party situations, or what. But yeah, I think I started at one point. There was a time where I was feeling like alcohol was like an answer to an issue for me.
Did you ever try like taking a break, like still going to parties, but like taking a break and seeing like how you socialize without it?
Oh no, not at parties. I
Yeah,
always drink at parties.
yeah.
I'll Uber home. I don't give a fuck. Like I'll leave my car there. I don't give a shit. Um, if it turns out that it's a party going on, I'm drinking with everybody. But like just in other social situations, like I work at a popular restaurant, and I work at Ross, where I have to see a lot of people and interact with a lot of people every single day, and it's not an issue for me. I enjoy it. I
Mhm.
like I said, I like meeting new people. I don't need alcohol to make that happen. I used to feel that way, but I realized now, and I realized a long time ago that it wasn't necessary. But I get where you could see like alcohol as a big catalyst to make you more sociable. You know?
Yeah, and the thing for me too, I noticed like I'm really like sensitive to things that affect my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and so like just like the after hits of it of my GABA taking that shot, um, then I almost feel like, so if I were to like binge on it, then I'd feel like anxious afterward, to where like, yeah, to going like almost like reverting back to that feeling of thinking that I needed it, because I
Yeah.
was like you, where like, I was really, it took a lot to get me out of my shell, but
Mhm.
once you do, whoosh, cat's out of the bag.
Right. Yeah. You're in trouble.
Uh, but no, like but that initial push, you know I thought I needed that something else, because I didn't realize it was inside me all this time. But like, but yeah, like then if I use a crutch like that, then I'm going to be feeling that anxiousness, and I won't, I'll realize afterwards, like that's what it was, that's why I was feeling anxious, because like I needed to drink, you
Hmm.
know but like the only reason I needed to drink was because I was drinking to use it as like that catalyst to bridge me. But
Yeah.
then,
Yeah. Or
but
filling a
yeah,
void, or whatever you want to call it. It was.
but
It was.
yeah, because how I am now. Like I'll be completely sober, be the fucking life of the party. It doesn't matter. Um,
Yeah. Like
but,
you.
but yeah, well, because in order to do that before, like I thought I needed something else,
Yeah. No. I just like for me. I just got to be around the
or
right people.
or like I
And
didn't even, I didn't even know. I don't even know if I think I needed that something else. It was just like that was the societal social thing, you know what I mean? I was like, oh
Mhm.
well, I love this crazy stuff more, but alcohol is socially acceptable, so like, yeah.
Right.
People won't even think nothing of if I'm just like having a couple drinks at a party,
Right.
um
Yeah. I mean, we can get into more of the harder stuff here in a little bit, but yeah, for sure. Um, what about like since it's legal now? What about weed? Does that in any way uh is that in any way a fake catalyst?
um I know I'll probably get some flack on this, but to me it definitely is. And I'm not talking about like people using it medicinally and stuff, but there's a lot of people, you know, who are like, yeah, it's my medicine, like it's what like keeps me at peace. But like if you like that's like the sign. That's like the dead sign of that. Like it's a crutch. Like when you need
Right.
another substance in order
And
to
now,
have
like
that peace.
I smoke every day, so
Yeah.
but I also have at least one beer every day. So I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I wait until everything that I have to do for the day is done, and then I settle down, relax, and I start drinking. Or at least I don't have any more real work to do. If I got yard work to do or something, like I might have a beer while I'm doing it. I might smoke a bowl before I start doing that. But as far as like going outside and interacting with other human beings and having to be responsible, I don't do that until like I don't smoke until I'm done with all of those things. You know what I mean? Like I won't go to any of my jobs high, or I won't go to any of my jobs buzzed or drunk. But at the end of the day, when I'm done doing all my work, like that kind of work, yeah, I usually have at least a beer and at least something to smoke. And
I
like
don't know. I don't know if I told you that. So of how like the times I tried it, I never really liked the effect of it on me, and
I didn't, and in high school I didn't like it. Yeah, like I got high a couple times and I could not handle it because I just couldn't let go and just let it happen. But now I feel like I can relax and just enjoy it. Um, but
do
yeah,
you think because you
felt
just got
like
kind of like
took until like 3 years ago before I actually started enjoying smoking. So
mm, yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I it makes me so like anxious and so like just like in the feeling that like I need to get shit done, so to the point where like I would never be able to enjoy it.
well,
Like
that's
because like if I get high, like I'm like gonna go run 5 miles and fucking clean my house and like you know what I mean. It's like oh I'm high, so I have to be super productive in order to like balance it out, and then in order to like use this. Otherwise, like then I just got high and like wasted my day. Like I'd
well,
feel
that's why I wait until the end of the day where I feel like I've accomplished everything that needs to be accomplished. Then I could smoke and not feel anxious about needing to do something because I already accomplished everything that needed to be done for the day.
yeah. But the
Does that
problem
make
with
sense?
me is like
So
it
then
gives me
I'm
like
not
a
paranoid
template.
about. But then I'm
I
not
can't
paranoid about doing all that stuff because I already know it's all done. So I'm already going into getting high already thinking everything's all good for the day. I can relax. I don't have to worry about anything. You know what I mean? Like you have to have that mindset already going into it. Otherwise, you're just going to amplify your mindset that you need to get more shit done. It's like, oh, I didn't like because I've had days where I got high when like in the middle of the day. After that, I'm like, oh shit, still gotta do this. I still gotta do that. And even though I know an hour from now I'm gonna be fine, I'm thinking like I already ruined my day. I screwed it all up. I fucked it up because I got high right now. Now I won't be able to accomplish
Cause I
anything
got high.
for the rest of the
Cause
day.
I got high. Cause I got
But
high.
if I just relax for an hour, enjoy it, an hour later, I can go and get that shit done. And even sometimes, like you said, when you get high, you got to go for a 5 mile jog or whatever. You got to get that shit done. Sometimes, if it's like housework that needs to get done, that shit gets done
Yeah,
really
that's what I'm
quick
saying.
when
Dude,
I'm
that's
high.
it.
Yeah, like I'll go and do some work when I'm high. I'll
Yeah,
get
no,
it done.
I'll be
I
really
feel like
productive
work needs to
because
get
like
done.
I'll stress myself out to the point that I need to. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
I just feel so bad about like wasting like my time or whatever
Mhm.
that
And
like I
then I
need
feel like
like
then I
my
got
house would
high
be
and I got shit done. Like I got to enjoy getting shit done because I was high. It's like
maybe.
a win-win.
I guess my because my place would get if I get high, my place would be spick and span, dude. like like I need to be productive, and
Maybe
and the
get
reason I
high.
can't
I
do
don't know.
it, well, and the reason I can't do it at night is because it like fills me with adrenaline, and I can't fucking sleep on this. Like my mind would just be,
Uh,
you know.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, my it doesn't really work that way for me anymore. Like I used to get super paranoid. Now I don't really.
I don't really get paranoid as the
Oh, well,
only thing
like
the only thing I really get paranoid about is like the fact if I'm not gonna be productive.
I
You know?
suppose paranoid is the wrong word. Like, yeah, I feel like there's still more stuff that I could have done and I didn't. Now I just wasted this time getting high when I could be doing something productive. But I also feel like that's sort of a positive thing. You know, I don't feel like that's any sort of negative really, because you're reinforcing positive thoughts.
With the with getting being productive.
Yeah, hey, I
But
still got
if
more
you're
shit to
not,
do. I need to do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep being, obsessive about something that I didn't get done because I'm high. No, instead, you just do it while you're high and
yeah,
you can get the shit done. Or maybe wait till you get sober. It depends on what the project is that you need to get done. Because maybe you have to drive somewhere or something. You probably don't want to be smoking and
yeah.
driving.
I mean, I've lived most of my life in Cali. All my friends have always tried to get me high.
Mm.
Which is kind of fun. And like everyone else, like then I have other friends who are like kind of jealous of like the perks. Like, oh my god, dude, everyone's always giving you like free weed. I'm like, yeah, you want it though? Like, I don't smoke. So
Right.
like to them it would be like this great gift, but to me it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I got a stat on that. More than half of Americans over the age of 18 have tried marijuana. So
More than half of
one
Americans.
out of every two people you meet, they probably smoke weed at some point in their life. Um,
Yeah, I think most people have at least tried it.
and these are off of surveys, as as we said, they're not completely accurate. A lot of people probably still lie on them, and they're gonna lie about having used it, not using it. Like people aren't gonna be like, oh yeah, I've used it trying to be cool on some survey, right? It's gonna be people that have tried it but they're ashamed of it or something, and so they said they didn't when
Yeah.
they really did. So
Yes, especially someone who's trying to like move up in their career or something. They're gonna be like, "Oh no,
yeah, I'm thinking
I
it's
never
skewed
did
towards
that."
lower end. Yeah, maybe you're trying to be some sort of like, I don't know. You're trying to work for the government. You're trying to be a detective. You're trying to be some sort of law enforcement or something.
Yeah.
And even just trying to be the mailman, you can't be smoking.
Hey, which, come on, that's a crime there. Let
Hey, I would
the
be the
mailman have
mailman.
his
I
bag.
would gladly be the mailman if they let me smoke weed and be the mailman.
Like
But
I'm,
they
I'm
won't.
honestly,
They won't.
I'm a little insulted that they don't let my mailman get high.
You should be able to get all right.
Like the fact, like I should walk outside and like I should have just like this happy camper like be delivering my mail like, hey.
Right. So yeah, 55
And then
million
we just do the birdie
Americans.
like right there in the street together. It'll be great.
Right.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
So, so 55 million Americans currently use marijuana, which is 22% of all Americans. But then you consider how many aren't even adults yet. Um, then you're talking, pretty big numbers as far as it's still close to 50%. I would think, of people that are using weed as far as that number goes. Um,
Yeah, and at my school, like a good majority.
yeah, no, I
Like
yeah,
even in
we
high
grew up in
school.
California. Almost everybody smoked weed at one point or another, right? That's like
Yeah.
passage right there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I had a lot of friends. A lot of them started, in primary school.
and support for marijuana legalization is at around 60% now. I believe this was right after it was legalized here in California, or just before. Um, Now, on that note, 83 supported just medical. Only 49 supported recreational use. So a lot more people were supporting it for medicinal use than just for fun, like how I use it.
Right. I'd probably be in the medicinal camp.
I'm
But
for totally legalizing it. I don't see why it's a big deal. I mean, if alcohol is legal, I feel like weed should totally be legal. It's not.
yeah, but I mean, by that standard, everything should then.
You think alcohol is one of the worst, one of the worst drugs out there?
I think so. And
I mean,
it's not.
heroin scares the shit out of me. I don't even want to try that shit. It sounds amazing for the high part, but then afterwards, it's like all downhill from there. Like you get high one time, and then your life is ruined. That's what
I don't know,
heroin
man. Not to advocate a very, very terrible thing, but I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of coherent users of all types of things.
I suppose.
Just as there's functional alcoholics, there's functional heroin users.
Right. Well, here's an interesting one on weed. 70% of people who have tried marijuana support the legalization of marijuana, while only 26% of those who haven't tried it support it. So, like, after they've tried it, way more people are supportive of it. But that's also that too, because people that are willing to try it are the ones that are going to be more supportive of it versus people who are not willing to try it. You know what I mean? I think that something's wrong with it.
But here's a question.
You can't expect people that are against weed to suddenly smoke weed and then decide that that's okay. These people that decide to smoke weed already decided that it was okay before they smoked weed, and so they probably would have voted for it regardless.
Yeah.
So that's a skewed stat right there, and I'm sorry for even bringing that one up.
No, but it's a good one to. There's a couple points to have on that, but first I wanted to throw out the question of of the legalization, because as I said, like if we're gonna legalize weed, like I was in the camp of why not just legalize everything? Because
right.
For one, the war on drugs is a not a success, to put it lightly.
No. The war on drugs is very successful for capitalism.
How so?
It's a way to prolong capitalism a little bit longer by squeezing more money out of people for shit that really shouldn't be an issue.
Maybe. I mean, partially, but like not. I don't know.
Have you seen how much money they're making in these prisons off of a lot of these people are just marijuana either marijuana dealers or users or just producers, and they're all getting thrown in prison with murderers and rapists over trying to sell weed or grow weed.
Yeah, but it's even though they did a non-violent crime, of course drugs fuel violent crimes. It's
because it's illegal.
Like for instance, like the cartel.
If it was legal, would it still cause violent crimes though? Not as many. I mean, there might be robberies at some dispensaries, but that's going to happen anywhere, But people fighting over territory to try to sell weed, that's not really going to be.
No. I don't mean fighting over territory to sell weed. Like for instance, the cartel uses that basically as fronts for a lot of things, right? So
right.
like it wouldn't, if it was legal, if it wasn't legal, I don't think that would deter them in any way. Like they're gonna use that so that they could do their killings, they could do their kidnappings, that because that's where they make even bigger money, and that's where they keep power and control and fear and everything into play. So, just alone with the cartel, like I don't see how it would deter it either way, and so like and like so these people here that are fronting that stuff, they're allowing the cartel to do their work. They may not be I may be saying this, they may not be like implicitly involved with the crimes that the cartel is doing, but they're still complicitly involved because they're an arm or a leg of that operation.
Right. I don't know.
So they're not exactly blameless, but also, neither are the people with the war on drugs. Like the whole thing's a big mess, I think.
Well, yeah, we're sort of getting off topic at this point, I think. But
yeah.
No, I like the idea, or I like what you're saying about alcohol though being an issue, because that's one of the most popular drugs in America, if not the most popular drug in America.
Yeah. It's the most.
And you see it on every, like, all these commercial breaks. You see shit about Bud Light, shit about Coors, shit about these different liquors, Patron, Jose Cuervo, Jack Daniels, they're just pushing that. And I read that 86.4% of people over the age of 18 have drank, and 70.1% of those people drank in the last year, and 56% of those in the last month. 27% binge drank in the last month. So like, it's a pretty huge number of people drinking.
Yeah.
Like, is that an issue? Like, I almost feel like there should be more DUIs and shit like that going on than I hear about, because everybody's got a friend who's got a DUI, right?
Yeah.
We all do.
Which is a serious thing. Like, like, people die from drunk driving every day.
Yeah, they push it on us, and then they tell you can't do it, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you have comparison.
Like, drink. Oh, but be responsible. Be responsible about it, though.
If you don't even take overdose or contraindications or of with alcohol, and you just take drunk driving, of how much death that alone causes compared to any other drug, be it like weed or heroin or what, like,
yes.
I don't know if you have the stats on that, but I still like just drunk driving alone has to be destroying those in the millions,
Oh, for sure. And I do not have the stat on that, but my friend, he was involved in a DUI hit and run, and he had to go to AA classes, and he was telling me how many, like, every single one of these people in these AA classes, they have all driven hundreds of times while intoxicated. They got caught that one time.
Yeah.
These people have been, they're not just doing it once on some sort of accident. You might hear that story here and there, but in reality, most of these people that get caught on DUIs, they've been doing it for a while, and they've
done it many times. And then the time they got caught, it was like, thank God, because it was right before they hurt someone.
Yeah. Well, it's scary too, because there's all these people. Like, I used to drive for Lyft. There's all these people out on the road with me while I'm driving, at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, that could potentially be drunk drivers, and nobody's there to pull them over. You know what I mean? Maybe I get hit by somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or and think about this: if you do have a drinking problem, something I've thought about, because I love alcohol. But
I love drugs, man.
so something I've thought about is like you could be driving home and you could be driving just fine, totally focused, but buzzed, and somebody else runs into you, somebody else fucks up and runs into you. That's your fault because you've been drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you're in prison because some other idiot ran into you, even though you were driving correctly, but you're being irresponsible by drinking and driving. You know what I mean? Just anything a little like that even could, like, that's on you, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. And back into regards of Catalyst has
Sorry.
has been intoxicated ever been a catalyst to help you drive?
It gives me confidence. That's what it does. It makes you think that you can accomplish things that you really shouldn't be doing when you're like, no, I'm totally fine, bro. Give me my fucking keys.
So in that case, it wouldn't be just a fake catalyst, but it'd actually be a negative.
Then it is a negative catalyst, yeah. At least alcohol can't be a negative catalyst.
Reverse osmosis going on or something.
Yeah, it's not good. But you don't have that problem with weed. Like most times when I'm high, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay home. I don't want to talk to anybody new. I want to stay where it's safe and where. So yeah, when I get high, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be where I'm comfortable, around people that I know. I don't want to deal with anything. So like, there's really not much of a threat of me going outside and getting some sort of DUI while I'm high. When I'm drunk, I might decide I can drive somewhere when I really can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it seems like a lot of the instances, you know, it's like I said, it's like, you know, illusions of making you think that you have these superpowers that you don't have, and you know, sometimes some of them.
I'm saying also that I don't feel so much that way when I smoke weed. I don't feel like I have these superpowers when I smoke weed. I only feel that way when I drink, or if I do Molly or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you ever feel like, though, like from weed, like, I don't know, like, 'cause I'm sure you've met the freaking like self-righteous hippies who are like, yeah, man, I like smoked the weed and like it just changed my consciousness, like, and you know, and now like I'm like this peace-loving person of the world, you know, you know what I mean?
You haven't even tried the weed that I've tried, so go on. Yeah, you sound like my uncle. I love you, Uncle Stanley.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What do you think about that whole mess of, you know, weed or any drug? Because you know, like I've you know going to, because obviously in my past I've tried and done a lot of things. Psychedelics being the one that I was, you know, mostly into, and especially with that, I feel like you have that community of thinking that, you know, like you've gained like some new form of consciousness and like turned into like this new human being or something. That
Yeah, could that be a fake catalyst as well, though?
I think maybe like I said, of like showing you that door, but I don't think it actually gets you through the door.
Right.
Whereas like I think a lot of people, because like it's something that they've seen, or now because especially it's so like experiential, you know, and so because they've now experienced this, they think like they have this now ultra power, but really, like, you know, I believe in humanity. I believe people always have that ultra power, and you know, it's just you know, it's just showing you the power that's already inside of you, really.
Mm. Now,
But
there's been a lot of studies done on hallucinogens, especially as of late, where it shows that a lot of them can have a positive effect on your brain. It's like flexing that muscle. You know what I mean?
definitely, because like, you know, one of my main things, like I'm a huge mushroom whore. Like that was my crutch. One of my biggest crutches. And yeah, that definitely, you know, brings you, like I said, it brings you to that um level like mental focus, like, cause like, say for, if I did, like, you know, like half, I would just be like super creative, and like I just want to, I turn into Alice, you know. And I think everywhere is Wonderland, and
That's a lot of mushrooms, isn't it?
what's
'Cause
that?
my friends talk about taking maybe an eighth at a time at the most.
Oh yeah, no, I was a whore. Like you didn't
And
want to
I've
see that.
tried and I've tried mushrooms twice, and both times nothing happened to me. Both times I took pretty large doses as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was a blessing in disguise, or maybe sucks for you, man. Maybe just like I don't have to tell you.
I feel like it sucks for me. Like I really do. I feel like I'm missing out on something. And for me, I really want to try. What I really want to try is DMT.
Yeah. Um. You know, I have some friends down south, who do ayahuasca ceremonies. That way you could get
That
the
scares me.
full experience.
I mean,
Really?
if that's what it takes, I'll do it. But I was really trying to smoke it. Not drink and puke it up and go through that thing.
But
But
it lasts a lot longer.
I hear that. I don't know if I want to experience that. But
You you
if
you
that's
used
what
to
it
be able
takes,
to
it
you
takes
used to
all.
be able to order the brew right off. What's that?
I said if that's what it takes, I'll do it just because I want to have that experience. But
Well,
um,
it's different, you know, like, because um like I've only done ayahuasca a few times, but like, you know, I've done DMT like many times. Um,
lucky bastard. Um, I've always wanted to
I
try it,
don't
man.
know, man. I think, you know, it's probably best if, you know, people stay away from that stuff. Like like I've never had a bad experience, but like I've also known people who, you know, it didn't go as lucky for, you know.
Yeah, well, that goes with mushrooms too. Mushrooms do the same thing. But
Yeah,
I've
like
also heard that there's other people who have had trouble tripping on mushrooms, and they tried DMT one time. They trip on that, and then they're able to trip on mushrooms afterwards. So that's part of what makes me want to try DMT as well, is so that I can experience mushrooms the way everybody else seems to be experiencing mushrooms. Because, like I said, I might have the slightest high, maybe, when I eat a bunch of mushrooms. But
but really, Stephen, all we really need is the Holy Spirit, and then the Holy Spirit will bring us to all the catalysts that we need to give us levels of mushrooms that we couldn't even have dreamed of. Um, no, but like, speaking of, so like, all right, so I believe drugs are a fake catalyst, right? Like it shows us the door, but in order to actually have a paradigm shift, we have to walk through the door ourselves. We have to build those muscles in order to actually hit that next stage, right?
so do you think it's better for more people to try it or for less people to try
I
it?
think it's completely dependent on the person.
See, that's the hard part. How do you pick and choose? Because you can't just
Well,
be
well,
like, hey,
well I
you're
think
okay, but you're not. Because
yeah,
then
well, the person has to, like right, like I've had great shroom and DMT trips, and you know, 2C, like for instance, like a lot of people hate that, like 25I. They're like, some people like swear against it, where I really love that too, you know. But like yeah, so it's really just dependent on the person, and like everyone's chemistry is like, it's like endlessly unique.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard talks about just how a diet for one person might not benefit somebody else. Like something that would be good for one person might not be best for the next one. Just
Yeah,
based.
I love when they show like those like really really old guys who are like super healthy, super spry and vibrant, and like and their diet just like completely like shits on all the like health experts who are like, you need eat this
Right.
and this, and then they showed this guy who's like 120, and he's like, like all I do is like
I still
eat
smoke.
jerky and smoke cigars, or like, it's like, yes, dude.
I saw this one 2020. I believe it was 2020. I won't quote him. But I saw this show where no, it might have been because it might have been 60. I don't know. Anyways, I
One
saw
of those.
and they were talking about this family, like these three siblings. They were all over 100 years old, and they all had been smoking since they were like 16.
Yeah, man.
It was three brothers and sisters. They were all over 100 years old, and they had all been smoking for as long as they could remember.
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
that's what.
yeah, it's all genetics, man. Some have it better than others. That's just the way it
Yeah,
works.
that's why in the whole sense of like the legalizing thing, like, and because I want to jump back to real catalyst, but like
Right.
in the sense of like, oh, legalizing weed, like all that stuff. I think like, what do we gain from it really? Like so if it's just gonna be a fake catalyst, like what's the point? Like, so like I wouldn't, like, I'm not like anti like war on drugs, obviously, because obviously I, like, as you know, like, I love drugs, but
Right.
in the sense that they are fake catalysts, and that they could be like these roadblocks for people, or whatever, or maybe that lead them to realer things. But whatever the case may be, it's just, I'd rather we try as a society to keep our focus on actual catalysts. And so, like, for me, like, if it gets legalized, I'm just like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like really a
I
winner.
was gonna do it anyways, so
Yeah, it's not. That's not really what I stake my cross on too much, But but as far as like real catalysts that I think that do bring us to that new level, like I think there's some things that just undeniably do that for everyone, because like it's what really separates the boys from the men, and like, you know what I mean, of like
mm,
getting married, having children, like those are things, like, you know what I mean, if
I
you
don't want to do any of that stuff.
right, because our society doesn't really like put that responsibility to men in it anymore, but like that's like a whole another that'd be a whole nother discussion. But like when we do have those things, you know what I mean, like, because you can't like care for this whole other life and maintain like your selfish life, you know what I mean, like this.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't want to have kids, because I like my selfish life.
Yeah, right. Like, who doesn't? You know what I mean? Like,
But I can admit that, I could tell people like, no, I want to worry about me more than I want to worry about the rest of you. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, you're honest about it. And like, what I don't like is when people twist it to this other thing, and then they try to make it like, oh, like, you're having kids, like, oh, how terrible. It's like, no, it's terrible for you because you want to be selfish, like, just
Right.
like, which is fine. Like, that's your
Now, I do work at Ross, and I do have to deal with a lot of crying babies at Ross. And I wonder sometimes what these parents are doing to where like they have no control over their kids when their kids are in public. Like that seems like an issue to me. Obviously, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about in the episode. But
Well,
since we're here, I just want to say, like, I see a lot of parents that are not in control of their kids, and it bugs me.
yeah. Well, on that, since we're here, these things don't have to go together. You can love your kid and still be a bad parent. You know,
That's true.
that happens too.
I see a lot of that. I see a lot of it.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, I love my kids by spoiling them.
yeah. Just
I know
because they had a
that's your parent's job.
just because they
You're
had a catalyst in one area of their life doesn't mean that they may need a couple more to really fully kick them together. There's some bad parents out
kids are like waddling around like 160 pounds already. Like, shit, you're 3'5" and you weigh more than I do. What's going on? Then I see their parents. I'm like, oh, I get it. You guys do fast food 3 times a day. How's that for a catalyst? Fast food is a drug.
Get in my belly. Oh wait, fuck, my bra's coming up. Feed me, feed baby, yeah, feed baby. I always do this shit with my girl and she loses her shit. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, so I don't know. I think we as a society should focus on the real catalyst. But like, I mean, I love drugs, but like, you shouldn't do that, man.
It's all explorations into different realities, and it's fun, but just don't make a habit of it, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. I can't say that I'm doing the same, but
Fucking up is pretty fun. I'd be like the worst like dare counselor or something. Like, kids, don't do drugs because they're bad, okay? But if you do them, they're pretty fucking fun and.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah. Well,
we don't need any more, needless death. That's
each drug affects everybody differently. Like I said, I've had trouble with shrooms where I had next to no effect. Whereas the first couple times I smoked weed, it was so intense that I couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't smoke weed through high school because I tried a couple times. I tried smoking weed a couple times in high school, and every time it was like I couldn't take it. It's too much for me. I'd have like panic attacks. But then I try shrooms and like nothing happens. It's like, well, what does that mean?
It means you're an alien.
No, I don't think that's what it is.
Yep. You didn't know this, but I had your blood tested one time. You remember that? Remember Jim, who used to always abduct us? I took it up to his ship.
Oh shit.
And, yeah, and so like we had your blood tested, and it turns out that you're like half his species. So
he's probably our creator.
Yeah, I know. I keep calling him like, hey, when are you gonna like take me up to your spaceship again and like take me the fuck out of here? Like, you promised me a better world, motherfucker. Where you at, Jim?
Right.
But
But I want to explore.
I
want to check out new spots, and not Mars. I don't give a fuck about Mars. I want to go to some real new planet, like some shit that other people haven't seen yet.
Yeah, man.
Where you at, Jim? Come back.
I don't know why Jim Chamberlain always has to take his sweet ass time, man. But maybe JC's like repairing the spaceship there and refilling on gas or something. that the last station spot that they were at, you know,
Space gas.
That's my guess. Yeah. So find good catalysts, and then you won't rely on other shit that's just gonna bring it. Because if it gets you high, it'll get you low too.
That is true.
So I'd rather just be like
yin and yang.
Stupid, man. Like the slow and steady climb is best, man. Yeah. Well, anything else you wanna add on about these here fake catalysts or any good catalysts or?
No, I mean, like I messed with ecstasy a little bit, which pure MDMA. Pure MDMA has been proven to have some positive effects on your brain, but the stuff you get when you take Molly is not necessarily the same thing. I mean, you could have meth in there. You could have coke mixed in there. Like
you're talking about ecstasy.
Ecstasy and Molly, but MDMA.
Well, Molly's supposed to be pure MDMA.
Supposed to be.
If it's not, then it's not. Molly's just the nickname for MDMA. But if it's not pure Molly, like then then they cut it with some other shit.
I'm just saying, you get a pill from some random person, you don't know what you're taking. Okay. Right. And that was my whole every single one of my Molly experiences was like that. So I don't know exactly what I was getting.
Right, because you always got it from someone you didn't know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got it from somebody I did know who got it from somebody they didn't know. Maybe they barely knew or something.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know what I was taking, but I mean, I messed with that a little bit. It was fun, but the hangover was weird and I didn't like it. Yeah, I'd say it's not for me. I remember one time I took Molly. We went to a rave, and at the end of the night, I was at my friend's house, and I did like hella sets of pull-ups. Just because I was hella high on Molly, I was doing hella pull-ups, and I woke up the next morning, and my lats were so sore, like sorer than I've ever felt them before. Like it was ridiculous. I thought I tore something. It was so bad.
Wait, because you were doing a whole bunch of exercise after doing Molly?
Yeah, I was doing pull-ups on. I was using the guy's gutter on his roof, and I was doing pull-ups, like chin-ups, on his roof, and and I was doing like hella sets of them. And I woke up the next morning, I was like, "Oh no!" Like everywhere I moved my arms, like it hurts so bad. Everything hurt. Like I could not move my arms without it hurting somewhere in my ribs, and it took me a while to realize that it was because I did hella pull-ups the night before, hella high on Molly. But yeah, as far as fake catalyst, I'm not sure. It didn't really do anything for me, and I don't feel any need to go back to it. So
yeah, what's funny
to speak on that. But I'll go back to alcohol.
I had a weird relationship with where like I enjoyed not enjoying it. like I would like I
had fun. I had fun while I was doing it, but it was the next day that it was like, well, like I had to go to work or something, and then I was like, oh, I gotta think, and my head isn't working quite right.
That would only happen to me if I like binged on it for like a week.
No, this happened in one night of taking Molly. I felt that way the next day. I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, it would take like 2 or 3 days to get me there.
Minimum.
But it wouldn't like I don't know. I feel so negative and icky on that stuff anyway.
It burns holes in your brain or whatnot, according to
No.
scientists.
See, that's something I wish there's
No,
plenty of
MDMA really actually supposed to
there's
be good.
plenty of dangerousness and toxicity and everything about drugs. The reason there's 1,000 reasons to not do drugs. Like as an ex druggie, like I'm will tell you numero uno, like Holy Spirit beats drugs every time, and like that's why it's so bad when they put out all this like fake info, like, oh, MDMA puts holes in your brain, like it's like because then putting that like false information, like that, it just makes more people do it, because then they're like, oh well, it turns out that's bullshit. I wonder what else they were bullshitting me about. But when they were just honest with you, like, hey, drugs are pretty awesome, but here's the fucking dangers, and this is why you probably shouldn't do this shit. If they just laid it out like that, then you and like let people like see it like reasonably, then I think there'd be a lot less people with drug problems. But then because all that does is feel that like rebellious nature, because like especially for me, like if you don't want me to do something, it's like fucking 5-year-old syndrome, like that's the surest way to make sure I fucking do it, like, oh, I'm not allowed, huh? Like, all right then. Like, yeah, because I'm just like, who the fuck are you to tell me I'm not allowed? Like.
Yeah, but then you have the opposite end of the spectrum with like alcohol, back to alcohol, where it's being advertised nonstop to you wherever you go. All you see is these alcohol advertisements: drink, 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 drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it should just, instead of that, it should be like a balance. Like it should be like a scientific site should be like heavily advertised instead, and it's like, here's the pros of drinking, here's the cons. Like, and with the fucking scientific data of results, like right there next to it to back it up, like. And then you'd see like, oh well, I could use this socially. Oh, but then like I'm gonna be like hungover and stuff, like, you know what I mean, like, and then you could see why it's actually a lot better to not do it, rather than like, oh, everyone's doing this, you should do it, or oh, you shouldn't do this because it's gonna put holes in your brain. Well, yeah, it's probably neither of those. You know what I mean? Like obviously there are the great cases and the horror stories and everything in between. So, just put it there, put the facts,
Yeah.
And the facts are, we should focus on real catalysts. Such as working your ass off and, on end to get a promotion or start a new business or start a family or
set goals and accomplish them.
Something like that. I don't know.
Don't get through your days so you could go home and smoke weed like I do.
Yeah. Follow me and don't follow me. Yeah. I could see the light. All right. Well, this has been Figure It Out, episode 20. Dark humor for a brighter future.
All right, guys.